Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Penalty Loop Podcast, a podcast about biathlon by Jordan Gottschalk from Penalty Loop and a regular guest, RJ Weiss from Biathlon Analytics.
Hey, RJ.
Dr. J, how are you?
Well, I'm doing fine. Nobody can see this because, it's recorded audio and not a video, but RJ is
cool
coming
YouTube
to us.
people yet.
Yeah, not yet. He's coming to us from a cave. He decided that it was such an exciting week, he just needed to go and do a little quiet retreat in a cave, and so he's he's in pitch black.
So I could pretend that I'm in the in the shooting range under the targets. There's often room because in the old days, I think you could actually use a lift to move the targets underground. At least in Canmore. I don't know if that was typical or not, but so there's an area under there that they now use for ammo testing. So they basically just put a rifle in a bracket and then shoot 100 rounds and see if they all go through the same hole, basically. Which even at Anschutz they probably wouldn't, but and we're talking like half a millimeter or maybe a millimeter. I don't know, but anyway, that's what they do. So from now on, that's where I sit right now.
Yeah, you're
you don't know any better.
Getting as close as possible. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, how you been? How was your week?
It was good. I always think with Oberhof, it's nice if the last race is on a gorgeous day. I mean, it was astonishing the pictures that we saw today.
Yeah.
And of course, there was also a day where I don't know what it looked like because you couldn't see anything. At least, some sections of it. And there's something I love about, the camera zooms in and you don't see anything. And then you hear the commentators like, oh, and there comes so-and-so into the finish. And you're like, really? Because I don't see, oh, there he is. So, yeah, no, it was good, man. It's some really exciting races, I must say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't have that every weekend, so.
Speaking of the weather, though, I exchanged messages with Caro Knoten during the week, and she was saying that, well, it's there's fog and there's wind and there's rain and they're moving a race, so it's Oberhof.
Yeah, exactly. It's the one thing for sure that the weather's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting. We got it all. We got freezing rain or not freezing rain. We got freezing weather. We got some snow.
Changing
we got some
schedules.
wind. We got change of schedules. We got fog. We had disappearing athletes. It was pretty good.
Yeah, and some, I don't know. I just love that drone view. I think it adds just so much value. And I'm talking especially the higher up where you can actually see the distance between the athletes. And what I thought was really cool was there's just that section in there that and we saw a great example of that today, but we'll get to that. But if you just, grind your teeth to hang on until that right turn and then you have the downhill, you can just, must be such a cool feeling to be like exhausted and start behind somebody. And then, when you get the time to the uphill and hopefully you have recovered a little bit, you all of a sudden like 10 meters ahead.
Yes. Yeah. That's got to be just absolutely wild.
And today they were going like 67 kilometers an hour was the highest I saw.
Man, isn't that where Tobias has his competition with the Finnish head coach with Eric?
I'm not sure.
They have a competition about who can go faster down the hill.
Well, they might beat that because and I think on the German TV they were saying I think they said a coach, someone called Reiter. I think he did a test and he came to 80, but I don't know if that was like in the past on a super icy day or if it was just really early this weekend I can, if that's completely iced over, then I can see that it can go pretty darn fast. And
yeah. Well, I think that's where Malta was hanging out on social media. Single Malt was hanging out. He had some pictures from over there. Some pretty cool ones, actually. He was wearing his, I shouldn't, I shouldn't acknowledge them, are fierce competitors. The Val de Pioche podcast, the French Christophe and Biathlon Stats and those guys. Yeah,
they're podcast
they're our good buddies. Our good buddies. And he was wearing one of their hats, and he got the attention of a couple of athletes. I think Jacques saw his hat and came over and said, "Hey." So, yeah, that was very cool.
Was there any that were sort of bragging that they had a nicer one?
No, I don't think so, because we didn't give out any hats. Yeah.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the hats go really well together with the buffs.
Yes, they do. We'll have to get them out.
Although I was disappointed that one of the winners didn't wear the buff on the podium. That would have been nice. But
it would have been nice. Yeah.
We'll keep it in mind when we see her again.
We'll give out even more of them.
Yeah, or she doesn't get anything.
Or she doesn't get anything. That too.
We'll just pretend that we give it to her and then turn around and give it to somebody behind her.
We could do that too.
Oh, is it Sunday night? Can you tell? And it was nice to be back because it felt like it was off for more than a couple of weeks.
Well, it was a long couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
It was a heavy couple of weeks in the biathlon world, I think. So
yeah,
really did feel like it. I think that's a good place to start. Really, it was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to speculate about anything, but just such a tragic situation with Bakken. And if I just think of the idea of when I was 27, and you have so much ahead of you, and like you do hear some incredible stories of one of his best friends on the World Cup. I don't know if they were close outside of biathlon, but Giacomel and how close he probably has become as well, or already was with the Norwegian men. The story of Bakken's girlfriend, I think she is either a biathlete or a skier, like cross-country skier.
Mm-hmm.
And she raced on the weekend and obviously was pretty emotional. I think she had a good result, but I'm not 100% sure. And then, you don't have Botten here, you don't have Ligret. I think it also had to do with sickness, but I don't know. It was just like a lot of emotions, obviously, with Giacomel and the Norwegians. And even today, I'll give that away a little bit, but Christensen with a really good performance. And all he said is, just really hard. And he didn't qualify for the pursuit because he just couldn't focus. And, you can totally, feel for them. And yeah, it's easy to say, well, life moves on for us. It's when you're close to someone like that and you hear a lot of these stories of football teams being a brotherhood and if you're spending so much time together, not just number of days in the year, but also so many hours together during the day with training and then in the hotel after, and then you go through a lot of hardship together, you tend to get really close. And especially if you then also get along on a personal level, then you get even closer. So, it's going to be a tough season, I think.
It really is.
From here on for many that were involved, and even people that weren't directly involved or knew him personally, still biathlon family, right? It's you can see that.
It's real. You said it. One of the things that I keep coming back to is like when I was 27, like my life hadn't really even begun.
Right.
I just think of all the things I hadn't had the opportunity to do yet. I mean, I was just married a year. Obviously I didn't have kids yet, and I wasn't here. I just think of all those things that he never got to experience. And this is the hard part about it too, for me, is he had such a long struggle with health. And if this had happened during that time, it would not easier necessarily, but it would have made more sense. And I'm not, again, when I say make more sense, I really mean like it's just so stunning. He had looked last year, his comeback and even just seeing him racing at all, and then he's on the IBU Cup and he wins. He ends up winning the European Championship gold medal. He makes it to the World Cup this year and looked good. Like, he looked good, and it felt like he could easily make a podium, right? It felt like he was knocking on the door, and then suddenly he's just gone. He's just not it. And I hate to use the phrase "it's not fair" because I think that's kind of trite, but it is. It just isn't. It just isn't. He seems, by all accounts, to be a guy that just sort of was that everybody liked, and everybody wanted to be around. You think about Giacomel had this Instagram post, I don't know if it was like 2 or 3 years ago now, and it was while Bakken was starting to train again, and I think it was when he was just starting back, and I can see it clear as day, and it was the two of them, and it was the caption was something like "Make Bakken great again" or something like that, and but it was just like you could tell, like even when he was so far away from being on the World Cup, there was Giacomel training with him, and still, obviously, they were very good friends, and I just think about how difficult this was for him and for the Norwegian guys and, well, the whole Norwegian team, not the guys necessarily, and for all of the athletes out there, that there's this guy that he's your friend, he's your teammate, he's part of your family. You have all these experiences and, you just assume that he's going to be there because why wouldn't he be? And now he's not.
Well, and it's funny you sort of brought up that this happened right after he was able to come back, but at the same time, I'm kind of happy in a sense that he at least, because there must have been like 3 frustrating years and so much hard work. So at least that he got to experience being able to come back and competing.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah,
and you could see it. They had that moment for him before the first race.
That was amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have been able to come up with anything how you can honor him best, but to give him bit one, and
yes,
the crowd was incredible, and
that video they played beforehand, like, I was a mess.
Well done. Yeah, and I wasn't thinking of it per se when I started watching the race, and I kind of cut in at that moment, and yeah, I had a little tough time, and here I am, 52, and never met the guy or anything, and still quite emotional. So
I know, and you just see, Giacomel standing with the Norwegian team. They're clearly all, oh my gosh, all emotional. Yeah. I would have been much more like Christensen, and I just don't know if I could have even summoned the energy to do it. So I guess that's a good jumping off point if you want to talk about what Giacomel did this weekend, because it is the kind of thing you
I just
only
wanted
see in a movie.
One more thing. The girlfriend is Caroline Simpson Larsen, that I mentioned, and she won the Alpe Chemise. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I don't know.
Anyway, Tour de Ski, sorry. So it's a multi-day race with different types of events between classic and freestyle, and then the last race they ski up a ski hill, like an actual downhill ski hill, but they ski it up, and she won that race. So anyway.
Man.
Giacomel.
Yeah.
What a incredible race. Like, I felt sad for Narath because it would have been, but you couldn't wish for a better result. And then Dala and Giacomel, in a pretty strong hug right after the race. And
it was amazing to me. They were bibs 60 and 62, so they finished within, just a few seconds of each other, really. And they clearly were so emotional to do it. The picture of Giacomel coming across the line, he points up to the heavens, and it was just like, oh my God. Like, I normally...
and
I normally could talk for hours about so many things, and I'm just at a loss because it's a Disney movie, right? It shouldn't happen that way, but it's incredible.
And at the same time, and not to want to suggest that I'm kind of done with that topic, but just by itself, like what an incredible result for Giacomel, right?
I know. Yeah.
He was such an up-and-coming talent, then loses to Hardwick for the Blue Bip by a couple of points last race of the season. Last year he was good, but not, wasn't really making that next step to challenge right away. Mm-hmm. And, well, he's definitely putting himself in the picture here, and like obviously with the Olympics in Italy coming up, he's looking pretty darn strong, and I'm very, very happy for him that he's able to keep the upward trend going, and seems to get stronger and stronger.
Oh my gosh.
And a very interesting / fun athlete to follow and watch, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of an all or nothing type of guy. Not quite like EJ, but still a little bit of, no guts, no glory.
Oh my gosh. He's so fiery. I mean, we've known this for years, but and I mean that in a good way, just like that. It's generally positive emotion. He just is so, it makes it fun when you watch him celebrate, but to win 3 in a row now. So he wins the mass start and Le Grand Bonnat, and then the sprint and the pursuit. And we can talk about the pursuit because he sort of came back from the dead a little bit in the pursuit there. I think he was behind by like a minute and a couple of seconds coming to the final shoot, and then got a little bit of help. But I mean, to be fair, he also he hit the shots and nobody else did. So to pull away there for the win.
I was actually curious how fast he shot. He shot the standing shooting in 20.4 seconds. And there were 2 that were faster, and one of those also cleared all 5.
Who was it?
The one who missed but shot in 20.2 seconds was Martin Uldal. And the fastest shooter, who also was clean, Zach Connolly from Canada. Amazing job,
Zach.
Yeah, and he shot well in prone too, under 30 seconds, 1 miss, unfortunately, but
man, good for him.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, Giacomel 3 straight wins. I was
going to say no surprise, Simonator 5th.
Yeah,
21.5 seconds and clean.
But yeah, Giacomel 3 straight wins, and then goes into yellow now. So, and obviously Boten didn't race, illness. And I know Giacomel mentioned that, not the way he would want to take yellow. He obviously would like to do it with Boten racing, but still, he goes to Ruhpolding in yellow, and now he's the man to beat. And he's already, I think, said that he's not going to be skipping any races to prep for the Olympics. So I think that he has a fair shot at taking this all the way. It'll be interesting to see if the pressure, gets to him. He has obviously not shown it yet. If he can do what he did this weekend.
Yeah, because I know it's a couple of years ago. I don't remember exactly how he lost to Hardwick for the Blue Bip, but I don't think it was necessarily related to pressure or that he all of a sudden faltered under pressure.
No, I mean, and to be fair,
I don't think he has think he has a bad reputation for failing under pressure or something. And
if he did in the past, he doesn't now, because he's showing it now. He when it comes to winning time, right? He's hitting the shots and he's doing the work on the skis. So anyway, it's really cool. It's fun. We've talked about this, that in the post Bo era, there was a chance that we could see some other nations, compete for overall globes, and here we go. Here's an Italian man who has a really good shot, and he's young, right? This could just be the start of him being competitive for the next several years. So, I mean, him, and yeah, this is very exciting. I wish that this weekend could have happened for him under different circumstances, but this is how it happened, and he is doing a remarkably good job. And this is something else I wanted to say about him too, is that he knew going into the interviews and the press conferences, I think on Tuesday or Monday, that there was going to be a lot of pressure on him, that everybody was going to want to hear his story. And he did such a good job of sharing that. And he was obviously emotional, and he allowed himself to be emotional, but he answered the questions and was amazing. This whole weekend told me so much about him as a person as much as an athlete. And I had
I think to avoid getting the same question 50 times, I think they did like a kind of separate press part with him.
So anyway, I don't know the right word. Congratulations to Tommaso Giacomel, but also our sympathies, our condolences, our thoughts. So he's really the man of the weekend, I think.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I was just looking at his results. Östersund, he started at 7.84, which is already, very good. And then Hochfilzen 1-2. Annecy must have not worked for him well for the sprint to pursuit, but then he wins the mass start. And then, like we said, Oberhof, the double whammy. And winning a pursuit with a shooting percentage of 70% probably doesn't happen all too often. Eh?
I would imagine not.
And a ski rank of 13.
Yeah. It was a weird race, right? It was a weird race.
But, in the end, the weirder, the more exciting in a way, right?
Oh, yes. Well, I wanted to mention this. If you go back and look at the race, so I mentioned that he was 1 minute and 2 seconds back as he got to the range for the final shoot. But it's actually like, it wasn't just him, right? So you had Uldal, who had this huge lead, and we can talk about Uldal in a second. But Uldal gets there, and he's got a 40-second lead on Dalla. And then Isak Frey is 44, Navrath 45, QFM 52, Giacomel 1 minute and 2, Samuelsen 1 minute and 3, right? So huge lead for Uldal. And then, right, a bunch of guys that are kind of 40 to 50 seconds back. So it looks like it's going to be a romp. But then you get to the splits at the end of the race. Giacomel, Uldal +4, Samuelsen +8, Dalla +11, Ponsaloma +12, QFM +14. If you just looked at the finishing time gaps, you would think, well, that was a tight race the whole way through. And it was exciting, but I wouldn't say it was necessarily close the whole way through.
Well, for different people at different times, for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's just what makes biathlon awesome, is that it's never over until it's over. If there's another trip to the range, man, it could all turn on its head.
Yep. It's, that you can just never give up. And I always have that picture of knowing that EJ has had a number of times where he just gave up. And then of all people, him telling JT Bow that, hey, come on, the race not over.
Race not over. The yellow big doesn't give up. Yep.
Yeah. But, you just keep going.
Speaking of races that turned on their head, how about that men's relay?
Yeah, it was interesting.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that was something. Especially, as if it wasn't tight enough. Christensen and Perot in the very last little section deciding that, let's just go slow enough so that the other ones still have a shot at it. Man, that was, exciting. I did really feel for David Zobel, because he's one of the Germans sort of on the fringe. Is he going to make it? Is he not? And he already had a really good sprint with fifth racer and ended in 12th. His pursuit is not on the top of my head right now.
He was like 25th or 27th. Yeah, okay.
But 6 misses, so, not something he probably would have liked to do that again if he could. And then being the fourth starter, I'm guessing subbing for Philip Horn. And, you came in with a significant lead. And he did fantastically well. And it's one of those where you're like, you couldn't have asked any more of him. Like, he was at the last shooting, he was clearly, the one with the lowest stats. And to not blow up and, perform, I think, above his stats and ski so well, surprisingly well, to be honest. And then, be overtaken with 100 meters to go. That was painful for him, but I hope he can really convert it into a positive that,
Well, this is what I would, if I was his coach, right? This is what I would tell him, is that you were just basically in a sprint race with Vetle Christensen, Eric Perrault, Sebbe Samuelsson, and Tommaso Giacomel, and you held your own. Right? You were right there with those guys, Yeah. There was very little separation. So it's going to be painful in the short term. Hopefully in the long term, that is a...
Well, I don't want to call it painful because they still got fifth, which for, Team Germany is nothing to be feeling bad about.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he dealt with the pressure, because Narath also said his shooting was really tough with the crowd. And he's especially talking about, you come in by yourself and it's dead quiet. And you hear that.
Yes.
You know? And then you take your first shot and you hear almost 20,000 people go either cheer or boo, whatever it was. And he's like, from that moment on, I felt like everybody was basically standing right behind me, looking over my shoulder for the first race. And then at least he felt, I think that was a pursuit. And then he felt like he took some positive out of that and learned from it. And today was definitely better. So, but Zobel did a great job dealing with that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
100%. I couldn't stop thinking about the Swedish men. How many times have you and I said if they could only have two guys who didn't have them like a minute behind, when Ponce and Samuelsson took over? Well, they were right there. they were within 10 seconds, and they had. Yeah, it was set up for them. But what are you gonna do? It was just one of those races that. Seriously, when they got to Ponsaloma and Samuelsson, I was like, "Oh, is Sweden actually going to win this thing and kind of run away with it?" But that's not the way it worked out.
There must be something with Ponsaloma.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because how I think at some point he might have skied up to Zobel.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was Samuelsson, so it could be that. But he skied up to somebody where normally he would have simply just blew over him, and then he stuck behind him. And also, what's going on with Perrault?
He had kind of a weird week.
Didn't really seem himself.
No. And yeah, it could just be one of those weeks. Maybe Oberhof doesn't agree with him, but just didn't seem.
But his shooting in general was also really, really weird. And I definitely felt that lane 1 was not the best lane to shoot in, wind-wise.
Yeah.
I don't know the range there, but it seemed like there was more wind, and I at some point saw some flags. You have the flag that's close to the shooting mat, and then one that's closer to the targets. And at some point, the first one was blowing left, and the other was blowing right. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they all know very well how to deal with that, but that must be so tough, right?
Absolutely. And I will say it was really nice of Dallas Skebdal and Jacqueline to throw in those penalty loops early to make it so exciting down the stretch. I saw that and I was like, what is happening to these guys? I guess if you were going to pick two guys, those would be the ones who would do it.
Yeah, but I really like with EJ, you're tempted to say, oh, he's having one of those days, but I don't know. He didn't seem to be rushed, or
Mm-mm.
I don't think he was really pushing very hard. So I don't know. It might have been just bad luck with the wind, or who knows. But
And I was wondering, Dalla, did he just get to? Was it like, oh, Jacqueline had those misses, we got a chance? Like I can open up a big lead if I can hit these shots. Just go crazy on the last lap.
maybe. But
yeah.
I just wonder if that was just like a weird wind section with it changing.
Could be.
But we've seen some crazy shots where, people like Fiomaye, like they shoot in standing and you don't even see where the bullet goes. They're so far off. And there was a bunch of other ones. I'm just picking on him, but you don't see that very often. And yeah, in the pursuit with Narath, I think I texted you that I could almost call where he missed.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Before he showed because his barrel was like all over the place, and it just, it's funny how you sort of can tell anyway.
Well, how about, I do want to credit Martin Uldal, and we can talk about him now, because what a leg he had to pull Norway back into it, from plus 42 to the lead. I think he hit everything and looked excellent, and that comes in the back of 5th place in the sprint, and then that second place that you hate to say should have been a win, but he really had the opportunity to make it a win in the pursuit. And it was really nice to see, because he had a great week in Östersund, definitely looked weird in Hochfilzen, and then clearly was sick, and it was nice to see him show, hey, I'm back. I'm still that guy that I can, get up there on the podium.
Yeah.
Have to imagine that he locked up a Olympic spot today, if he hadn't already.
Yeah.
It's nice to see.
You never know with those guys.
I know, but I just to get a podium and then to have that relay, like that's kind of nice to have. Also, before we leave the relay entirely, Norway, we should mention they won the relay without Boden and without Lagride. So it's don't get me wrong, these are 4 very strong biathletes, but it's it's pretty amazing who wasn't there, and they're going against the top French team, the top Swedish team, the top Italian team. So I just in what could have been a step back year because of the Bow brothers not being there, clearly it's not making a difference. They're winning all the relays anyway.
If anything, the others might be a little better because they don't feel the pressure of there's 2 more spots.
Yeah, that's true.
But, and Italy on 4th. Lukas Hofer really impresses me.
Great week.
Is he having the best shape of his life? Probably not, because he's probably a little too old for that, but his shooting still right where he wants to be, I guess, and definitely not a weak link on the team.
Absolutely not. No.
And I did want to shout out to... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, did he have 2 top 10s in the sprint and the pursuit, I think? And those were his first top 10s of the year. So building very well. And I just keep thinking, whenever I think of the Italians of the Olympics, him and Giacomel and Vitozzi and Veer is going to be a heck of a mixed relay team.
Cool. Yep.
What a way to start out the Olympics that would be.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention a couple more things. First of all, of course, the U.S. 7th.
Thank you, Campbell Wright.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, I guess I think this is a good example where even if everything does not really work out the way they'd hoped, they're still in 7th.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, it's
and then,
almost like, it was only 7th.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was nice to see Nick Hardwick leading for a while, right? I also wanted to mention that I felt bad for Austria, that they were doing quite well. I think Ader was close to the lead or in the lead. Probably close. But then Mühlauer was not very form on his shooting. And then I think Mühlbacher had to pull out because of sickness, is what I understood. And then the last thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if you saw that at all. There's a section where they can climb up a pretty steep hill right before the end of the lap. And you can actually have 3 side by side.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a snowman right there that looks like a 5th athlete. When was it Sinopov who for some reason decided that this is not going fast enough and I can't pass, so I'm just going to step across the boards. Like I was listening to the German commentary and they were both stunned. Because they're like, well, he must have felt like he was pushed out or something, or, you know, that somebody kind of cut him off, and they look back like 2 or 3 more times. Like, no, that's not it. He just decided to go out of the course and.
Yep.
And I was thinking about it. Because they just put an asterisk kind of star behind Bulgaria, and at first I was like, wow, it's such a clear breaking of the rules. Why don't they take them out? And I don't know if this is the reason. Oh, no, it must have been earlier. It must have been Vasilev in the second loop. But then I thought, well, at least even though number 3 and 4 on the team know that they're probably going to be disqualified, at least they are able to get that experience still.
Yeah. Well, let them run.
Right?
Yeah.
But again, I don't know if that was the reasoning, and Ilyev didn't shoot very well, but that was just such a...
You sent me the picture with the question mark, like, what is happening?
Well, of all the places to do it, I just laughed so hard with that
the
snowman standing there too. 5 wide. But yeah, they are disqualified by Rule 11.3.4H, deviated from the marked trail.
Well, pretty clear. You can't argue that one.
And it's not even like he's not cutting off a corner, but it's just so weird. Like he goes all around to only end up in front of someone. And, you know, if it was for a gold medal at the Olympics and you're like, I'm so stuck, you know, it's weirdest thing.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
I suppose. Yeah, I suppose. But, do you want to just chat about the other pursuit or relay since we're
sure,
or we stick with the men?
I'm
maybe?
happy to. I'm happy to stick with the relays, because I can tell you what I wrote down here in my notes. I wrote, "The Death Star is operational," because that was pretty crazy. The French women just gave no mercy. I think Lou led from the start, and I don't think that the French ever were not in the lead from that point on. Like, from the first shoot, Lou was in the lead, and that was it. They were just gone.
Well, and to be honest, I thought, you know, Michelin was probably the weak link in the French team.
Yeah.
And she looked super strong.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. She looked amazing. And if Justine is unbeatable,
if
Justine's only going to have one reload, then that's it. I don't know what else you hope for, because Simone was back to her usual closing out the relay ways, and that was it.
Yeah, if you look at the progression charts other than France, it's a pretty wild roller coaster of, you know, the different positions and the position changes, and
except for France.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, if you leave them out, because obviously they were so far ahead, and
they were just sort of doing a team time trial off by themselves, and everybody else was running the real race.
Yeah,
and there were some cool things that happened in the relay too. I think Kuzmina in the second leg I think she had the best second leg at 40 years old, was pretty awesome. You had Slovakia and Slovenia up there for a while, kind of bearing the lead with the U.S. women having their best relay performance in 4 years. finishing in sixth. They were phenomenal.
Maybe they should get a couple more athletes on the podcast.
I clearly,
it's paying off.
Thank you, Deidre Irwin and Lucy Anderson and Joanne Reed and Margie Freed for that incredible performance. The other three of you and of course Deidre, you all invited on whenever you want to come on. So that was awesome. No, so that's just really cool, and I'm super proud of Margie Freed. I sort of had just assumed that she was going to finish outside the top six, and then nope, she had other ideas.
Well, and her shooting, her shooting was awesome.
Yeah,
right. Only two
it really was.
Reloads, and I think she was passed in the shooting range by Slovenia.
Yeah,
and I mean, I didn't know Manka Kasserman. I can't say that I know if she's a good or bad skier. She's 19 years only, and Margie is a bit older. But yeah, when I saw the results, because I think I texted you that the German broadcast caught out after maybe the first 5 teams. So I didn't see where the U.S. finished, but yeah, to come back and get them back in the flowers. Do the relays have flower ceremonies? Because I don't usually see the podiums.
They've got the podiums, but I don't know if they've got all 6 teams up there. Yeah. No. But regardless, we're going to call it flowers because we're taking it today. That was really cool.
Lampage, no penalty loop. 5
you texted me that before I had a chance to see it, and I was like, "Oh man, this is going to be a great day."
I don't
for
think
Slovenia.
That was in the. Was it for that?
It was for that. Yeah.
I thought she had a pretty good. No, she didn't. Not in the sprint. And the pursuit. How did she do there? Lumpage. Nope. Not so good either. 5 misses. So yeah,
we did have a very cool finish between Schierkeide and Preuss. That was Preuss. That was very neat.
Yeah. Schierkeide looked a little not top that she can be. Although I'll say that Preuss looked very strong.
Yeah. Yep.
It always amazed me with someone like Preuss and someone like Jean Monod. When you see them ski, like I saw Jean Monod going at some point, I'm like, I think being the first leg on the relay, I don't know if you should really take it a bit easier. Because it honestly, no, but it honestly looked like she was just doing like a warm-up lap. And then you look at the ski times, and I don't know if she was the fastest of her leg. Yeah. She was the fastest.
Yeah.
And,
easy.
you know, there's still some pretty good skiers in there. So, yeah, I love that. This Perrault is also a bit like that. It looks so effortless, but then I don't want to pick on him, but then you see
Campbell.
Yeah, Campbell, and it looks a bit more effortful. Also, before I felt so bad for Magnussen, Anna Magnussen. She was right in there, and then it took forever to take the shot, and then it seemed like the end of the sling came off, the screw came undone, and I think she kind of figured it out, and then put her hand up for help, but then kind of figured I might as well just try to put it back in, and she did. So, still had no misses. Which,
pretty good.
Yeah, you could argue by the time she shot, her heart rate was probably at a training level, but or like a very low for them.
I know what you mean.
Still that pressure, and so yeah, that was really unfortunate because they still come in 5th, and they were 35 seconds behind Finland, and I don't know if I can really tell exactly. She did And then talking about Anna Magnuson, she did very well, for her leg, if you forget about that part. And she was 138 behind.
Yep.
That must have, well, let's just say cost at least a minute, right? So.
Yeah, it's it's hard. And I don't know if Heidenberg and then especially Hanna were chasing time. I mean, they both ended up on the penalty loop, so of course that didn't help. But yeah, you just feel bad. I think Magnuson, her prone shooting time was 1 minute and 12 seconds. So yeah, and that's sort of the ball game, right? It's obviously doesn't make all the difference in the world, but it could have brought them back into podium contention.
She did handle it quite well, I must say.
Extremely well. Yeah.
Like no panic, just couldn't even see a lot of frustration. I'm sure she had it, but. And then I know that they've moved Hannah and Elvira back and forth on the third and fourth leg, but I think they'll stick with Elvira on 4.
I would definitely leave Elvira in the anchor leg. She looked great. Not as great as Suvi, but she looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, great to see Elvira. Let's do the relay first, but
no, I was actually going to jump over to all the rest of Elvira because that was an awesome weekend.
So happy to see her skiing at that level where we all know that she can, and the confidence and the calm that she has, and the big smile on her face that says it all, right?
Well, do you want to talk about her new strategy, her new philosophy, I guess?
Yeah.
So apparently she doesn't want to know what's going on the course. She doesn't want info. She just wants to run her race, and it's working great.
And I texted you. I was fascinated by it because you would think these athletes go as fast as they can in a way they can maintain it for the whole race. So in a way, does it really matter if somebody is 3 seconds behind you or 20 seconds behind you, or it was 20, but now it's 16? Would they actually be like, oh, I better pick up the pace? Because I'm assuming that they're skiing a certain pace because they feel that that's going to keep them competitive for the rest of their leg. And I mean, yeah, for some that might be the encouragement they need. For others, they're maybe not interested. And I think it's just really good that she, clearly had the comfort to say, I'm just going to do my own race. Don't tell me. I'll figure it out as it comes. But in the end, and I mentioned it before, that's what I really love about biathlon. One of the many things is you're really racing against yourself, but it's also you're racing against others, and you're racing in a team sometimes. But in the end, all you can do is be your best yourself, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think, the approach of, okay, let's just forget that there's anybody else around you and what they do, because you can't control it, but you can control your skiing and shooting. Just do the best you can. And yeah, I'm sure it could also be coinciding with the fact that she's in great shape and feeling good, and has been having a lot of good shooting practices and feeling confident there. But it is interesting that she takes a different approach and has this great success on the whole weekend, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. She was 29 for 30 on the range this weekend. She was 16.7 seconds faster than Michelon, who was the second fastest in the sprint. Obviously, course times get a little weird in the pursuit. She did equally as well in the relay. I mean, she just was. It was it was a show of force. And I think coming off of a first trimester that she herself was not really happy with. It wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't like she was, finishing in the 30s, but it wasn't where she wanted to be. And, well, she is now. And she moved from, I think, somewhere in the double digits in the overall. I think now she's 5th. And you're getting a race like this, I mean, she's going to be a factor. And it was funny because I think that you and I both talked about how for years, we'd always been like, okay, this is going to be the year that Elvira is going to be in the overall mix. And just especially the last couple of years hadn't really seemed to materialize. And, well, maybe this is going to be the year. She just needed to change the way she's thinking about the race.
Have they said much about missing out certain events?
Doesn't sound like they're going to. I think Sweden's going straight through. I know that Samuelsson said today that he is not going to miss any races.
Okay.
And so I'm extrapolating that the rest of the Swedish team will not. But I can't say for certain. It has not been their strategy in the past, I don't think, to miss. But she could be there.
What do you think
she's
of?
Not that far out. What were we going to say?
Yeah. Oh, what did you think of Giacomel this weekend?
I think about like she did, that she's kind of confusing. That she looked so good for the end of the first trimester, and then just didn't really look like her. She wasn't bad. I mean, she
was great in the relay.
Excellent in the relay. And then she was...
Well, although her standing shooting was...
But she handed off in first. Yeah, can't ask for better than that. And was she 10th in the 7th in the sprint and 10th in the pursuit? Just
the pursuit was
scattering
just
some misses.
And I mean, then you started realizing that it was a weird shooting day.
Yeah,
because there was a lot of crazy misses.
Except for the very top, it was a weird shooting day.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, she just had some misses kind of scattered in there, which is a little bit different for her. And she said herself afterwards, she was just kind of confused. And it maybe, I think she had a good week in Oberhof last year, but I know she was pretty darn good in Ruhpolding too, so we'll see. Maybe she just bounces back after this. She's still in yellow. I mean, it's not like she lost her lead. But, I was
looking at...
I still think she's going to be the favorite. She still looks very good, but this just wasn't her top weekend. But on the other hand, if your bad weekend is finishing at 7th and 10th, you're going to be doing okay at the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly the point we've talked about before. Now I was looking at the clean shooters of the pursuit. Vanessa Voigt, Regina Ermits, 9th place.
Yes.
And Voigt, 7th, or 8th, sorry. Very good result. Venla Lehtonen had a clean shooting, came in 18th. Lottely, 21st with clean shooting.
Lotte.
Yeah. And was it? Yeah. And
can we talk about Vogt for a second?
Yeah.
Off the top of your head, would you have a guess as to where she is in the overall?
I think she is second German behind Preutz. I would guess in the top 10.
So she's right now 13th, and she's the top German.
Oh, 13. Oh, top German. Okay.
She has 4 top 10s this year. 4 top 10s. Which I don't know if that seems like a lot, because I guess they've all been like lower in the top 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Or higher, lower. Yeah.
Yeah. Whichever way you want to think about it. But I saw that number today. I was like, season's actually going okay, right? It makes me happy to see. What I really wanted to say, though, is her average for her 4 shoots today in the pursuit, she averaged 26.6 seconds per shoot. And she's usually been a very deliberate, like relatively slow shooter. And this was actually the second fastest shooting for her career in a race, which I thought was kind of weird. And I don't know if something she was like, she had just a moment where she was able to let him go. But maybe we'll see if that carries forward, because that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, her first prone is ridiculous. 26.3. And then, wow.
And she's someone where if you saw her like with a 33-second, standing, like you wouldn't be stunned, because that's just kind of what she does. But yeah, today she was feeling pretty good.
28.2, 26.2, 25.5.
Yeah, look at her go.
That's unusual, to say the least, in a very positive way.
Yeah. And like you said, 20 for 20. So maybe she just say, you know what? I'm just going to do it.
Do you know why she was not in the relay?
I do not.
Because, I mean, they had a pretty darn good team regardless, but maybe they wanted to just try some out and give Selena Grosjean.
Yeah, give her some more
time.
Yeah.
Did you find? I got the impression that Simone was out of battery in the last leg or the last loop.
It's what she said. She said that she was done. She just didn't have the legs. Otherwise, I thought that race, and I think I sent you a text with a screenshot of the splits. Did I do that?
Yeah.
In Suvi and Elvira. So from the very first split of the race, Suvi was 24 seconds back, and she never got further back than that, but she also never got closer than 15 seconds or 14 seconds. And it was like the entire race, they just kind of mirrored each other going back and forth. And Simone was right there with Suvi the entire time. So It was like in the top three until Simone dropped back. It's just like really stable. It was like remarkably unchanging considering what was going on behind them with we talked about Lehtinen and Voigt and Ermits coming up. So it's just, I don't remember a race being that like, it felt like it almost felt like there was like an electric field, and it's like Simone and Suvi just could not get closer than a certain point, but they also couldn't get further back.
One of those elastic bends that stretches out and yeah.
It's like, and so it's just kind of funny that they missed at the same time and they cleaned at the same time. It's just, all right.
Yeah, Simone had a very odd race because her first course time, the first loop course time, 14 seconds behind Breza-Boucher. And then still 18 seconds behind Breza-Boucher in the second. Where did she go in the third? Man, you don't have to typically scroll down. 20.8 seconds behind. Then 14.9 in the fourth leg, and then the fifth leg she was. I didn't realize she was 23.4 behind. And I was going to say I didn't realize she was so slow. Obviously, she's not slow, but you expect her to be quite a bit closer.
And I wonder too, I mean, I think some of that is that at the front they were so far ahead at one point. It was like the top three, and then there was like a minute back to the other group, or maybe like 40 or 50 seconds. So I think even Elvira was not exactly putting out a punishing pace, but yeah, I think I think Simone, I think if I remember correctly, at the end she actually did say that she just didn't have any left, and Hannah clearly did, as she breezed by her on that last lap to get the.
But even her shooting,
podium.
First shooting in the pursuit, 9th shooting time, 8th, then 2nd in the third shooting, and then 9th again in the fourth shooting. Who was fastest, you think, in the fourth shooting?
Fastest in the fourth shooting?
Yeah, shooting time.
Was it my girl? Was it Suvi?
Suvi. Yeah.
We're going to talk about her, don't worry. I have a special moment coming. you knew we weren't getting out of this without it. I just wanted to push it to the end. Everybody's waiting for it, and I know that they're sticking around, so I need to put it at the end so everyone sticks around. If I do it in the first 10 minutes, and that's it, everyone just tunes out. How about Regina? Another top 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's, man.
Yeah, no, she had
very, very happy for her.
Very
I think
good
that
weekend,
was going clean. I think you mentioned Lotte Lee also. I think between the two Belgians, didn't they? I think they went 39 for 40 today. Maya Klutens and Lotte Lee did.
I don't know, but it wouldn't shock me at all.
Yeah, it was it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't recall seeing Lotte a lot. I saw Maya a number of times in the screen, but yeah, Ermits didn't do all too well today in the relay. Hey? Two penalty loops, 4 reloads, but Tuli Temenges also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a tough day. Yeah. I think the Estonian men did well in the relay, but the women, it was a tough day.
Weren't they 6th or something?
Yeah,
Estonian
7th, 8th. Yeah.
Right behind the stage, yeah.
Pretty good. They're kind of getting consistent up there. I feel like it's not an unusual thing to see them in the top 10. It's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about the overall races? I just think it's really fascinating to think about how people are going to juggle their schedules the next few weeks. So right now, what's that?
No, I was going to say, please elaborate, but you were going to.
So yeah, exactly. So right now we have on the men's side, Giacomel is leading 611 points, and then you have Boten is 51 back. Pedo's another 31 points behind Boten, and then Samuelson is 106 points back of Giacomel. So really 4 guys there within 100 points, and then after that it drops pretty far off. So I would say it's pretty much those 4. So you have Giacomel, Boten, Pedo, and Samuelson. And I guess it'll be interesting to see now if any of those 4 miss skip Nova Mesto. I think right now the Norwegian top team is all planning to skip. Now will Boten and Lagride skip?
I was just thinking that, yeah.
Yeah, or will they come back just to get some more races in their legs? That'll be
that's a curious
decision.
Yeah.
If they do skip, I mean that'll be real tough for Boten, especially knowing that Giacomel and Samuelson will not. That they will be racing all the races, and we'll see what Pedro does. I think, like you said, that Boten will race all the races, but I don't know.
I don't know anyway. how much he'll be in it though.
Yeah.
Like I honestly, I don't know, but I can totally imagine that he really doesn't care too much about the rest of the season in the sense of going for the yellow. I think, if anything, he's probably want to peak at the Olympics. What was probably already the plan, but of course he, let's say he's,
I agree.
He's motivated for obvious reasons, and then, whatever works best to get there.
Yeah.
If that's competing in Nova Mesto, it might, I don't know how long in advance they need to talk or let them know if they're coming or not, but I think it might depend on the weather. Like if it's going to be like a miserable, rainy,
like 38 and raining
weekend.
Yeah,
then, what do you... Is that going to bring you much for the Olympics? I don't know.
Yeah. So, you could also imagine if he had raced in Oberhof and if he was still in yellow by, 100 points or something, if he was like, hey, I want to defend this, I want to win it, that might change his decision, but yeah, we'll see. But I bring this up because you have the top 4. Giacomel clearly looks amazing. We talked about Boten. Pedo has at times looked like we would hope he does, and he's still 3rd in the overall. I just think it's interesting that I just don't get the sense that a lot of people expect Samuelson to be in the mix in the end. And I actually think he could, because I was doing a deep dive in how he's racing. His average finish this year is 5.7, which is by far his best of his career. His average ski rank is 3.3, so he's right there at the top. He's hitting only 83.8. I wish he was shooting a little bit better. But with the relays, if you include the relays, which obviously don't count, but if you did, then he's actually up. I think it was 85.7. I'd have to go back and double check that, though. I didn't write it down. Maybe it was 87.5. Those numbers are kind of getting reversed. He has only 3 podiums, and he has 3 finishes of 4th or 5th place. And I just really feel that it almost feels like he's due for almost like a reverse regression, like he's going to reverse upwards.
Yeah.
Because it feels like he's there, right? I don't know. I just can't shake the feeling that he didn't really have a dip. I feel like I'm used to seeing him have like a dip at the beginning of the second trimester, and he didn't. And now I wonder, like, hey, if he actually really is serious and he races in Ruhpolding, races in Novo Mesto, like he could actually potentially could be in the mix at the last final trimester. It'd be fun because I don't think we've really seen him have a go at it before. If he's finished high, it's always been he's high, but Johannes is so far ahead, or QFM is so far ahead.
I still picture him as somebody who's always going for it.
Yeah. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that
Yeah.
he really makes a run for it. Because it'd be fun, right? If we had, Perot and Giacomel and Samuelson going to the end, it could really be exciting. So I'm hopeful.
It was cool too that he said that they asked him why he was waiting so long with that shooting, the final shot.
Yes.
And they said, wouldn't it be better to just take a gamble and accept that you might miss? And then his feedback his reply was, well, when I'm skiing or shooting, I always go, my only goal is to be the best, and the best wants to shoot every shot. So that's why I waited, because I wanted to go down, even if it took more time. And I thought it was a very interesting, but also an answer that really I can see fit well with him.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because Biathlon Stats and I traded a couple messages, and he actually chimed in. Samuelson saw our messages and chimed in, and because we were talking about, I mentioned when he finally let the last shot go in the sprint, that it was almost like I could read it on his face that he was like, well, look, I'm not really ready yet, but my legs, I gotta go, right? I can't stay in here anymore. And it's interesting because you, in that quote that you just said, that he talked about how he really wants to hit every shot. And so he chimed in and said, and mentioned that, when you're standing there, your head, like, it's hard to know exactly how long it's been, because it feels like it's been so much longer. And he said he got to the point where his legs, because he reset, and he just felt like his legs were gone.
And reset.
And he's like, I don't have anything left. Like, I just have to shoot because I can't. My legs are going to start shaking. So, yeah. And it was kind of cool that he just, two dunderheads talking on Twitter, and he popped in to say, yeah, that's what happens.
Set that straight.
Yeah. He was super nice about it too.
That's good.
And then he came back and had a podium after that. So maybe he should do it more often.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Chatting
as you were saying, something interesting on the overalls.
Yeah.
I was just counting in the top 15 for both men and women. There's 6 nations for the men and 8 nations for the women.
Really?
Yeah.
8. Who are they?
Yeah. So women is France, Finland, Norway, Sweden, Italy, Germany, and Switzerland.
Oh, who's? It's got to be Baserga.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then for the men, Italy, Norway, France, Sweden, Germany, and then USA.
Campbell Wright, baby.
Yep. That's right.
Can we talk about that Finnish woman? It's time.
Who?
We have to get there. Suvi Minkkinen.
That one.
Yeah, that one. So I'm not very good at math, but
fluke. It's just a fluke.
Just as fluke. 5:53 for Lou Jean Monod, 5:03 for Suvi Minkkinen. She's 50 points back. And then Maren Shirkaitis at 487. Anna Magnuson, this is kind of cool. Anna Magnuson, 441. Elvira Öberg, 420. And Hanna Öberg is 395. Doro is 363. Camille Benet is still here at 345. Vitozzi, 304. Anyway, it's a very tight bunch. We already know that Suvi's not going to Nove Mesto, so obviously it sounds like Maren Shirkaida won't be there either. So the Swedish women have a really good chance if they go to overtake them, and we'll see what Lou decides to do. But I just want to celebrate,
Odium.
right? Was that
Another odium.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Just wanted to celebrate Suvi being
I
in
was
second
thinking
place.
it, and then the German commentary
But did they
was
beat you
talking
to it?
about it.
Yeah.
Obium, yeah. Or Obium, yeah.
Real quick, I'm not done yet. You
She's
gotta
right
you
there.
gotta give me
Oh,
time.
yeah, I cut you off, yeah. But
You gotta give me time.
I just wanted to see how flustered you would get.
Not that
Talking about my
flustered.
girl here. Yeah.
Suvi Minkinen has 5 podiums this year out of 10 races. She has the most podiums out of anybody in the women's field. It's pretty crazy. She's skiing.
Did she win a race yet?
She did. She won the sprint in Östersund. Yep. So she's got a win as well. She is still hitting over 91%. She is skiing faster than she ever has before, and she's second in the overall halfway through the season. And it's just really cool. I just think it's the coolest thing. She's 50 points back. And, you know, if Lou wants to be a real sportswoman, she will skip the races either in Ruhpolding or Nove Mesto to give Suvi a real fighting chance to compete for the overall. So that's my Lou, you know how much I love you. I think that you are a fantastic athlete. My daughter is turning into a fan of yours, and that makes me happier than anything in the world. But, you know, it just, you got to be equal here. Give Suvi a shot. Sit out 2 races. It's going to be fine.
See, what I'm thinking is, if you look at the progression in the last season and this season, maybe Lou's thinking, I better get it now because Suvi, if she's even better
coming,
next
baby.
year. Yeah.
I will say this every weekend that it continues to be the case, even if it goes on for 5 more years. It's just the craziest thing in the world that Suvi Minkinen is this great, and it makes me so happy. To the point where
one of those wonderful things that makes biathlon such an amazing sport.
I just want to, if we get the chance in Oslo this year, my question for her is like, does getting on the podium, does it feel normal? Or is it still like so awesome? Because she's been on the podium.
But then
now,
I also think you should ask maybe Hanna or who Veer or, you know, those who have a long history of podiums.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it sure looked like, if I can read body language just a little bit, it seemed like there was still a good amount of excitement also with some, veterans. I always like Hanna is, I keep looking it up, only 30, but.
The reception, Elvira, you know, obviously wins the race, and then she stands there and waits for her sister to come in, and just the genuine embrace, you know, when she comes when Hanna comes in third. I wonder how much Elvira, well, this is a question. Elvira doesn't want to know how she's doing. Does she want to know how Hanna's doing? So would she allow somebody to give her an update on Hanna's progress in the field? It had to be, pretty cool.
You say a genuine embrace, and I would totally agree. However, I've noticed now again that I always get the feeling that Hanna is very happy to embrace, but she has this sense of, not quite yet. Let me just, you know, catch my breath.
Catch my breath.
Yeah.
She's like, you've had a minute to rest.
Not already. Not yet. Yeah.
No, I just think that's
cool.
It's really cool. And I think this was the race that Elvira moved out of a tie with Hanna for most wins. So I think that Elvira has 13 and Hanna has 12. So look for Hanna to catch up in Ruhpolding.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Swedish team, by the way, had a great weekend. I thought of you had Elvira winning twice, Hanna with the big comeback in the podium, Samuelson was on the podium.
Really
relay
would have been better, right?
Yeah. But that's it. I mean, Anna Magnusson, she was solid. So pretty good week for the Swedes.
Yeah, no, they and this is usually the time where they are not very strong, right? Because they're always super fast in the first, and then they kind of fade out a little bit. But isolated pursuit.
What you got?
I updated it. Any idea who would be leading that with the men?
With the men. With the men. I think I have probably a better idea for the women. For the men, I'm going to say who did really well? Oh, fine.
So
I'm
he
going to
was
say
third. No. Eric
Perrault. Oh, all right. I would be very excited for him to take home the isolated.
He was third, and then first in Hochfilzen, and then second in Annecy,
and
in Oberhof. That can't be right. But Pedrushny, 41-7, had the fastest. Hornick, 39-11. But Perrault, too well. Who? That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20th. Isolated time.
So he's hanging on. He's
but
hanging
still
on by
in the lead.
Skin of his teeth.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he has 251 points. Giacomel 193. So quite far back. Bolton 172. Campbell 157. Ponsaloma 154. And Jan Gunga 146. And Dan Samuelson 145.
All right. So I won't guess Samuelson next time.
You said women will be very easy to predict.
I didn't say easy. I thought I'd have a better idea. I think Elvira was leading last time, and her isolated pursuit probably wasn't great, but I can't imagine she did too much damage. So I'm gonna stay with Elvira.
She is fourth with 203.
Yeah.
At the top, Justine Réja-Boucher, 233.
Yes.
Suvi, 226. Hannah, 212. Then Elvira, 203. And then Lisa Teresa Hauser, 165.
I'm happy with
Magnusson, Voigt.
Any of these.
Julia Simon.
I'm happy with any of these. But it'd be very exciting if Justine, if last year we gave her a Mickey Mouse and this year we gave her a trophy.
That would be.
Yeah. Then we'd really have
cool.
to think of something.
And now that you say that, I feel pressure to start working on that because.
I don't care.
The
if we
worst
have to buy
part was I was so chaotic
trophy.
last year that I didn't organize my file and everything because I actually already looked into can I just quickly reproduce one for this year, and it doesn't look like it. But
you can do it. We'll figure it out.
It might be a simplified version.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Anybody else from this week?
No, I just on the topic of the pursuit, I was just curious who. Yeah, all the expected names today. Voigt, 5th. Venla Lechtonen, 6th in isolated pursuit from 53 to 18.
What a move. Oh, on the men's side. Did you see the men's side already? If you have it available, where was Burkhalter? He finished in 24th.
He was 3rd. 7th.
Excellent.
7th isolated time.
Great race. Swiss men, 3 in the top 25 because he went from 59th to 24th.
Bush Galicia. I was like, if I mispronounce it, I might as well go all the way. He had the 8th time, and he went from 49th to 23rd, the Polish 18-year-old.
18 years old. Crazy.
And Jan Bunka was the 4th fastest in isolated today, from 30 to 15.
What, 21?
He is 23.
23? Yeah. These guys are, this whole team is so young. The Poles, man, gotta watch out. In a couple of years, they're gonna be doing some work. Do we talk about?
Okay, man.
Oh, wait. Last thing. Do we talk about the women, the American and Canadian women? I forgot about this. It happened so long ago, but the sprint. I wanted to mention Nadia Moser had a career best 19th. Lucy Anderson career best 21st. And I believe that Shyla Russo, Margie Freed, Deidre Irwin were all in the pursuit as well. So pretty good week for the Canadian and American women beyond just the relay. Yep.
Yeah, Russo was 47th. And the Americans 21st, 39, 48. And then, on the men's side, not as...
but Zach. We know Zach made it.
Happy, but Zach Connolly made it through to the pursuit. Mm-hmm. And then on the U.S. side, we have Campbell, obviously, 10th. Paul Schomer, 52nd.
Yep.
And don't forget, I just saw his name. It just pleases me to see the British flag.
Yes.
In the list. Chuck Jeffries and Graham Benson, 86, 95. Just, yeah. And that's just the reality of his move to Great Britain. He had the opportunity, grabbed it with both hands, and now he's racing where I don't think he would have had a spot on the French team, so.
No, it's good for him, and he's taking the hard road, right? Trying to sort of plow his own course here. So I'm very impressed.
That was it for me.
Yeah, that's all I got. So I texted you beforehand. I said this is either going to be 40 minutes or 90, and we are far closer to 90 minutes than 40.
You saw my reply to that, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Well, my thought process was...
I think you're just still in denial.
No, I was thinking Giacomel won both races. Elvira won both races. There wasn't a lot of movement in the women's, pursuit.
Right,
I was like, well, we could...
Really nothing to talk about.
Yeah, maybe this will be pretty quick. But yeah.
I had a talk about Suvi for, 45 minutes. And...
At least 45. I could have done more, but I saved you guys.
Although I still, I think I'm going to get a GoFundMe for Lisa Teresa Hauser. You're just like not even letting her dangle on the line, but just cut off completely.
Only because she was sick this week. If she had been there, we would have done equal Lisa Teresa Hauser corner. Yep.
All right, man.
Everybody, have a great week. And if you haven't already, go listen
Wednesday,
to
we're back.
Go listen to the Deidre Irwin.
Oh, yeah, Deidre Irwin interview?
You can skip the end when she talks about how the Packers are going to crush the Bears, because that obviously did not happen. But all the rest of it was a real joy. She's a character, and I mean that in obviously the best way possible. That was a lot of fun. She just was so comfortable, chatting and telling us her whole story. So that was a lot of fun. I think we had a really, really good time with that.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm gonna have to find a way to bring her some real Wisconsin cheese when we see her in Norway.
Well, if we're in Europe, you might as well just give her some proper cheese from Holland.
Stop it.
Just saying.
Wisconsin cheese, that's the only real chease.
Yeah, because there's Dutch people.
We're getting out of here before we get into a real fight.
Bye all. Take care. Bye.